Hello and welcome to Kudik Builds. We're back with another episode of Satisfactory, and today's goal is to finally build a factory that's going to produce components to get us into phase 2 of the space elevator. Off camera, I've done a little bit, not a whole lot since last episode, but my thought process was to scout out where I want to build this mega factory, and in the process of that, I had the random sidetracking thought of, hey, we should find some quartz so that we can unlock all of those recipes in the MAM that are requiring quartz, because I think there's some cool upgrades, including like the blade boots or whatever they're called that are going to allow me to move faster and not take as much fall damage and stuff. So I headed out in my truck looking for quartz. We found some here, and luckily I had a handful of these portable miners in my inventory. And so we're just going to let these finish up mining. I've had them going for a minute, and you can see more than a minute. We've gotten a stack of 100 in each of these, plus I mined a little bit by hand to top off what I'd found along the way. So now we got 400 quartz, which should be more than enough for us to do what we need to do in the MAM, at least. And we're gonna start heading back up here to the base now. I managed to squeeze the truck down here, or I should keep calling it a truck. This one's called the tractor. I managed to squeeze down here, so I don't envision any problems getting back up. It's a little steep. And our plan is to just head straight back up to the base. I didn't find a great spot for building here in this area. Honestly, the woods and stuff make this area pretty hard to navigate, and construction is just going to be kind of a pain. So we're probably going to consider doing something a little bit different. There's a cave there. I'm kind of curious. Let's get the sword out and see if we can get in there. Can I kill these things? I can't. They're just going to make the poisonous air. I do have a gas mask, luckily. What's in this cave, though? I can hear... Ooh, that looks like a Mercer sphere. We haven't got one of those yet in this playthrough. I hate the spiders. There's more in here. I can hear their skittering legs. We're going for speed here. The Mercer sphere. Get out.
The astrobiologist Dr. D.M. Mercer was the first to recognize the presence and probable nature of these alien artifacts. These chain-melted state spheres are named in his honor. Each sphere emits a unique signal. Research it in the MAM to establish locally appropriate classification and application.
Well, I like that. D.M. Mercer sounds kind of cool. Oh, that's another one right there. Well, we're having all kinds of luck. 3 hits with the sword to take that guy out.
This is a shrine to Windows and Evening.
We're getting all kinds of fun voices here as we capture these alien artifacts. Definitely something to pay attention to. I think that's tied to what little of the quote-unquote story for the game there is now. Now, like I was saying before I got distracted by the Mercer sphere, is I'm wondering if we just put the space elevator on top of a factory and I build a factory right here and have the bottom how many ever levels be the factory, and then the space elevator sits on top of that. It limits me in that I can't keep building up if we run into the need for more room without replacing the space elevator. I suppose I can always do that. I wonder what happens if I just deconstruct the space elevator real quick. I'm going to hop off and run up here faster than backing up. It looks like I could just dismantle it. I'm going to leave it there until we have all the materials for foundations and stuff to start building out the factory. But I think we're going to build the factory there. I can give it a much bigger footprint. We can clear a big chunk of the forest right around here and have a much bigger size than we need. I could also build over here. These bone things are going to be kind of in the way, but we can sort of work around that. We've built a factory there in the past, and most likely, now that I'm looking at everything, it's because that's one of the few areas where it's really set up well to do that. We're going to go in the exit on this side for a change, just because I don't feel like figuring it out. And we need to take this quartz over to the MAM and see what all we can do with it now. This is our first research.
Research completed. Quartz crystal recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
All right, that's pretty basic. Let me go look and see. So this is that quartz crystal. I need 100 of the silica. So I'm going to bust this out real quick and get our boots upgrade at a minimum. And then I might just get some of this quartz crystal going as well so we can unlock the other bits that are in there. This is one of those things for MAM recipes and such. When it's such a small quantity, I think it's going to make sense to just do this by hand, especially since we don't have any infrastructure set up that requires anything made out of crystal just yet. There's our 100 silica for the boots. Oh, I only needed 50. Well, look at that.
Blade runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
All right, don't mind if I do. We'll get those on the leg slots. I can put these in my extra hand slots. And then it was the inventory slots that require 200 of this silica. So I am going to sit here and bust that out real quick before we switch over to the quartz crystal. Back over at the MAM, we're going to get our inventory slots real quick.
Pocket dimension now extra dimensionalized with additional dimensional capacity.
And I wasn't like keeping us in suspense. I actually forgot about the Mercer spheres, so we're going to get that going.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific...
Witness our scripture. Witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us a song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
Well, that was freaky. I don't know about defiling anybody's temples, but we're excited to have unlocked another bit of research. I love that it glitches in my inventory occasionally. It's such a neat effect. I'm going to bust out some more of this quartz crystal real quick so that we can hit some of those research points. I want to say that I needed 100 of this for what's outstanding, so we're just going to keep cranking through this until we've got enough and jump right back over there. All right, we're going to stop there. I've got 102. Hopefully that's enough. Yep, 100 for this. Ooh, and 50 of my reinforced iron plates. But that's going to unlock this crystal oscillator, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a prerequisite for a bunch of this other stuff we're waiting on. Ooh,
Research completed. Crystal oscillator recipe unlocked. New quartz research available.
What's a radar tower do? Interesting. Okay, so I could use 30 more of that. I need these oscillators for... Is it this? Yeah, I need 5 oscillators for that, and also some kind of a CPU circuit type deal, which I thought I'd pick some of those up at one point, but I don't see any, so I must not have. What's the recipe for these oscillators, though? Is that something that I can make by hand? It is. Lots and lots of crystal. Oh, wow, that is significant. All right, well, we're not going to get to making that right away. We'll bust out these proteins just to get my inventory stacking up nicer. And then let me see if there's anything else that I've missed real quick. I think the only thing I'm missing that I could do is this medical properties unlock, which doesn't actually give me anything, but we might as well grab it just to see what it's going to unlock underneath it. I needed 10 of these stators, and then I should have some mycelium in the chest that we can use to trigger that unlock. And here we go. Perfect. Start research.
Medical properties of local mycelia established. New research options available. Medical inhaler variants.
All right, that's just going to be alternate recipes. I need some more mycelium to be able to tackle those, so I'm not too worried about it. Really, I kind of want to get this SAM stuff unlocked because that's going to let us go down the tree here and do a bunch of other cool looking things at some point. So that's one thing to keep an eye out. I'm just checking. I don't have the ability to scan for that yet. That's all right. Well, let me clean out the inventory of the weird objects that we don't need on us in the moment. And we'll pick up some more concrete and stuff, and we'll head out to start building this initial base. I'm going to need some concrete, and then I'm going to need some metal plates and stuff, if I figure. I've got plenty of rods. All of this is going to get torn down and turned into just ingot processing, I think. I'm going to grab, like, all of this, I think. And then I'm going to grab maybe 6 stacks of plates as well. We want modular frames to keep going, so I'm going to grab the 1 stack of those that we've got. And I think we're good to go. So let's just hop in this guy. I'm going to top its fuel up real quick, not that we're going that far. And we're going to go out the entrance just to make a point. We came in the exit. We're going to go out the entrance. I'm getting a little bit better at driving this little tractor thing around. Not perfect yet, but I'm not crashing into everything under the moon. You know what I need? I need Caterium to unlock some of those recipes. I wonder if there's a node. Yeah, like right here, there's a node. I can't put a miner on it, but I can mine some by hand. I know we're kind of doing a lot of these miscellaneous side upgrades, but I think getting this Caterium real quick so that we can kick off the quick wire and get the like Mark II power poles, I think is down that research chain, is going to be really useful for us. I can't remember how much I need. I want to say it was like 50 ingots. And this is either a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 refining. So I'm going to go ahead and get 100 of this Caterium ore just to be sure I've got enough. And I say stuff like that, and then we'll probably go set it up, and I won't have nearly enough anyway. But 100 is a great place to start. And I'm just going to, it's right close to our base here. I'm going to run right back and toss it in the smelter, so that we've got that Caterium ore cranking out. Or the ingots, I should say, is what I'm really looking for. And I suppose it doesn't really matter where I put this, so I'm going to put it right here. Nice and close to the hub and everything else that we're doing. And I'm going to grab power from there. And Caterium, it's actually 3 to 1. Of course it is. That's okay. We'll let this crank through. This sure beats doing it by hand. And then as long as we're here before we head back out, I'm going to check and see how much of this we needed. 50 for that. And then I need a bunch of the quick wire for the next steps, which we'll make from this. Okay, so we're going to be good to go. We'll let that continue. I'll bring some more back since I am going to need 50. We're going to need what? That means 150 of the ore. I need 50 more ore to complete that research, that step 1 of the research, and even more than that if we're going to do the quick wire afterwards. So what I can do is put down those hand miners, I think, on the outside. I'm not sure. We're gonna try it. Can I put these down? Can. Portable miners for the win. And while that's going, I'm gonna come over here, and unfortunately we've got a bit of chainsawing to do. Chainsawing is so loud, but I think what I want to do is clear this all the way over to the rocks here. That's going to give us a huge amount of space to work with here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and we'll check back in with you in just a minute. All right, folks, we're officially out of inventory space. I suppose I could toss some into the tractor here. Oops, didn't mean to jump in there. Let's see, we can toss those in, we can toss those in, and we'll try to pick up just the last bits of bushes here. There we go. I think we've got the bulk of the raw stuff out of the way here. I'm a little bit worried about the height of the ground over here, though. I don't feel like we got quite tall enough for what I'm trying to do. So if I put down a 4-meter, foundation, let's switch to zoop mode. That's gonna be a little bit too shallow. I'm just checking the different directions to see how this is gonna look. I think what I need to do is come up just 2 meters more. Maybe 1 meter would do it, but I think I'd rather come up, maybe we'll do the 1 meter. If I come up 1 meter more, and I want 4-meter foundations because there's so many spots in the ground here, but what I'm trying to do is see if I can, there we go, line it up at the top level like that. And then as we run these around, start with 5. I want to see exactly where this ends up. Okay, that's looking pretty good. As we run these around, then they fill into the ground pretty well. And what I'm looking for is where the high spots are. I just want to make sure we don't have a bunch of stuff sticking through. I'm leaving these pale berries up for the moment on purpose. We got a bit of a high spot right here. I guess I can see if I can get this grass out of here. I'll bring it this way as far as I can, and then that's 10 this way. Perfect. This takes us right up onto the edge of this. It shouldn't be a problem. Run these over that way. And similarly, let's take this over to this edge right here. Okay, we're gonna lose it underground in the corner here, which is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping this was gonna be the top spot. We might have to go one more taller here to handle this corner hill, or just maybe have the factory end here. We'll have to think about this space over here. Maybe this is a spot where the trucks can come in and out, and we won't have to worry about it too much. On the one hand, I was going to say it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is where we want to be building stuff for the foreseeable future. So I want to make sure that we're setting things up with enough space for us to succeed. I am going to take down the space elevator. I'm curious to see what happens when we put it back up again eventually here. All right, now this is starting to look like a factory floor that we're going to be able to work with. And much like the other side, we've got a couple of things here. And honestly, this is starting to get a little tall. We could always get rid of the first two of these so that we're not dealing with all the bones and stuff over there. Because this is going to let me go, you know, another 10 if I wanted this way. Let's go see where another 10 this way would land me. Right here in the middle of these trees. And we'll bring it 10 that way. And we'll bring it back towards the base that we've already built. I'm just kind of experimenting here to see how this is all going to shake out. It's looking pretty good. We're at the right height to continue this for a little more. I'm going to try and bring this out to the same spot as the rest of the factory. Perfect. Okay. I'm liking this. This is working out just like I hoped. We're going to have lots and lots of space. So what I need to do is get back to clearing out some of these trees and stuff that are poking through. And we'll check back in just a minute. Alrighty, I'm liking it. We've got a lot of space. We're gonna head on back over to our tractor now. I'm gonna pick up our Caterium and we're gonna head back up to the base and grab some supplies. Where's my tractor? Ooh, we left the tractor a little tight under here. Can I back up? I can't. I'm gonna have to dismantle just a little bit of stuff here. See if I can, oops, at least squeeze it out now. All right. We're gonna need a couple more to get him out from under here, I think. There we go. We've got plenty of Caterium now to hit this first unlock, so let's see what that's about.
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
All right, so then we can make quick wire out of the ingots, which is going to go really fast. Apparently we get a 5-to-1 ratio, which will be super cool. And I'm just going to bust out a bunch of this because I want to see what we can do to unlock the next research as well, as long as we're up here and at the base. I really would like the zipline thing for riding the power lines, and we haven't even made our first rebar ammo yet, so that's not useful. So I'm going to need 200 quick wire here to get started. Let me get that real quick. Well, we didn't quite get to 200, but the first batch is done, and I've got a lot of ore still smelting. So let's see. Between the two, we're going to take the thing that actually unlocks something for us to start with.
Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fixit recommends not using zip lines during thunderstorms and typhoons or while drinking coffee.
Okay. Well, we've got our zipline deal now, which is always fun. I can jump onto our power lines and ride around. I can sprint on it now, too. That's cool. Too fast, too factory achievement. Alright, well that's yet another mode of travel that'll be useful for us. And let me just go ahead and grab some more of this Caterium, and I will go make the remainder that we need to do the next bit of research. Back to the MAM. We will do this research, which should give us 3 new options afterwards.
New Caterium research options available. Congratulations on finding this metal. Many Fixit initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
Oh, so much good stuff down here. However, I'm going to need this Power Poles Mark II. Is going to make life so much easier. However, we don't have enough Caterium on us to knock that out right now. So I'm just going to let this kind of run here in the background. We're going to drop our quick wire off in the chest. And let's start thinking about what we need over at the other base. Well, I'm going to need all of this. So I'm going to switch modes to blueprint mode. We're going to tear down these blueprints. And then I'm going to take down the last little leftover bits here. Our inventory is apparently full. You know what? I'm just wasting time because now I'm going to have to pick up every one of those chests. Let me come in here and we'll drop this stuff off real quick so that I can pick all this garbage up. And there we go. I've got all of that. I can hide that a weapon, get it out of my way. And I'm thinking about this. I can get rid of the screws because I don't typically need screws for construction, but I do tend to need the iron rods, at least for some things. I guess I don't need thousands of them. That's going to be a much better inventory for going off and building something. And we can leave the rest of these materials here for future use. I am going to set up a constructor. I'm just going to wrap it around the other way. We might as well start making quick wire out of this. So I am going to bring back some more Caterium and all that goodness here in a little bit. So let's see. We've got all this. All right, let me come in here and figure out what I'm going to need. I'm going to need at least one of each of these to start with. I've got the materials for that. And then we'll probably need another one of these setups for the iron plates. I know it's probably a little bit different, but we might as well get started with that. So I'm looking for reinforced iron plates. Do I not actually have any? Wow, that's a first. We're out of reinforced iron plates. Well, let's come over here. I'm sure I've got enough modules, and we can grab a stack of plates because we've been stacking them up over time. So now I should be good with all of that. I like it. And then we're cranking on the quick wire. Good deal. Just going to take that out in case it starts to get full. We do make it at a 5-to-1 ratio now. And we're good to go. Let's head back out to the factory, and we're going to start figuring out... Yeah, we got a lot of leaves. We're going to start figuring out how we would want to run our first floor stuff. Now, conventional wisdom would say bring stuff into the factory, process it, and then move it up to subsequent floors to do more and more with it. However, the problem with moving it up to higher floors is that, man, then I'm having to go to higher and higher floors to get the materials that I'm currently working with. I don't know. But we're going to think about it while I fill in the holes in our factory floor. Oops, wrong buttons. Oh, wrong buttons everywhere. I think what I'm going to do is remove some of the floor out here and potentially bring myself back down to ground level here. I hate the steep ramps, but I think this is going to be the way to go. Let's see if I can pull this off. All right, there's enough space here for me to bring a truck in. Nice gradual, and then a really steep climb, boom. I like it. Now, what I'm thinking is we will eventually have more than one truck stop here and want to bring in stuff in a way that we can not have it run through the zone. Oh, we got hyper tubes now, nice. I think the zone out in front of this thing is pretty big. For example, if I put this truck stop down right there and drive this tractor in on the far right-hand side, I'm still gonna get to a point, yeah, where I'm trying to load cargo. So that means that the truck station needs to move over a full setup to somewhere like this. And I'm just kind of curious how this lines up. Not this way. All right, let's try that. Because my idea being this would be the lane. Yeah, this is the lane where we can drive without unloading. And then you want to unload, you swerve over into this double lane. And then I can line up a number of truck stops along here. And so all of our trucks kind of come up, run down the line, and either, just pull into the one that they need to pull into. So I can bring back multiple resources that way. So let me grab this truck stop. And I'm going to start it out over here. But back right here. And then this way. So I could come up the double ramp. And I stay to the left unless I'm trying to go right into this first truck stop. And of course I don't have enough rotors to put in more than one. Let's go get us some rotors real quick. And we're starting to come up with a plan here. I am going to use trucks for now. Eventually, this whole thing could get converted into like a train station in this area, I think, would be my long-term goal, but we won't be to trains for a little while, and trains require a lot of infrastructure to get set up, is my understanding. Mostly just in having to run tracks, where here I can drive on the road. And what I'm trying to do is get past the struggle that we have had in the episodes leading up to this, which is failing to use automation when it becomes available to get things done at scale. I think we're moving a lot slower than we need to because we've been afraid to invest the time in setting things up. Just bust out some rotors by hand here real quick. I realized after we got up to the base that I forgot to pick up the Caterium and bring it back with us. It's, so far away. Don't want to waste the time. We'll get it next trip. I'm sure I'll need to run back over there for something soon. All All right, let's practice here, though. Let's see if I can bring this up on the far side. Yeah, I think I'd be able to set that up with some care. All right. And then truck stations are going to need some space between them to make sure that I don't accidentally pull into the next truck station. I guess I'm going to be empty. Man, I don't feel like that's enough space. Let me try and put a truck station in on the other end as a starting point first. And then if I just center this between the two, I don't have enough rotors again. That'd be 2 to that side and 3 to that side. So what I'd need to do is do it somewhere like this. I'm just gonna slap down a crafting bench so I can make the rotors we need. I completely miscounted when I was making these. I thought I'd made enough to do 2. They apparently require like 20 more. Or 15 more. 20 total per truck stop. All right, let's give this one more try. And right here should be 2.5, 2.5. This is the equidistant point. We'll have a total of 3 truck docks here that we can run our trucks up into. And that means that I'll be able to like come all the way up here, turn in, have it unload, and turn right back out for the path. Turn in. Yeah, we should be able to keep our, at least these tractors away from doubling up as we bring materials in. I like it. And then we'll also be able to have our fuel set up here between all 3 of these and reload our trucks on this end of the equation. Okay, so with that in mind, I should probably put down a few more foundations, even though they're gonna be mostly bleeding through on the grass, but that way I can walk on stuff without getting hung up. And we need to figure out where we're gonna start doing our iron processing. The first thing that we're gonna be doing here is leaving enough room to probably buffer these raw materials. So I'm gonna set up industrial storage right on the other side of the truck station here. We're gonna put one of these on for each just to move the materials out right away. Eventually, we'll probably have to set up some like smart splitting or something if I'm bringing in like materials or, different materials. You know, I'm thinking about steel, for example, where one truck is bringing back both parts of steel, putting them into the same type of container here is problematic. I guess I would be making the subcomponents here rather than off-site, most likely, though. So we may not have a problem. And I'm going to move these in with Mark III belts because I want it to unload ASAP when stuff comes in. Can I name a truck station? I can. Station name. Well, I'm just going to name it iron to start with. And then, did that take? Yeah. And then over here, we could do copper. And then over here, I could do steel. We don't have a huge need for copper, but you never know. And then each of these actually needs to be set up to do unloading. Perfect. And then we'll be able to just bring the ingots in and process materials with them somewhere else. So for that to work, I'm going to need 2 more tractors. We need rotors. All right. You know what? We're tired of messing around. It's time to rebuild the things that we need over here. Gonna relocate them from the main base. Maybe the hub will go right back there. That wouldn't be a bad spot for it. But first, I'm going to put this crafting bench down right here. And I'm going to build the rotors necessary. I'm going to get these trucks up and running real quick so that at least we're getting the materials we need. Or I can send a truck to get the materials we need, and then we're going to rework the 3 main resource nodes that we have. We're going to have to do something with concrete eventually as well. But for the time being, let's just worry about the iron, the copper, and the steel, and go from there. I'm going to let this go up to 20, and we'll just slap down. I should have mowed the grass under those. We'll deal with that later. We're not building anything on top of it. Tractor. I'm going to just put a tractor in front of each of these for future use. And before I forget, we're going to set up the fuel infrastructure here for all 3 of these. So what I need is a little area where I can put my leaves and my wood and have it automatically turned into the biofuel. Because I'm going to have a lot of leaves and wood for a little while. I don't see an area to do it down there. So I think that's going to end up being right here. And then I can just kind of pipe that down. We might have to scoot these containers back. And this is kind of why I'm playing with this early on, is to make sure that we can figure out the best way to run all of this. Yeah, I think that's the way. Let me put one of these on here. Is that going to run above? We'll run this one up and like this. Then I'll have a line of fuel that runs across the top. And then these storage containers are going to move out slightly. I'll put some nice splitters on here. Everything will run straight down the way here. Perfect. All right, so then let's see. We don't need a ton of storage or anything, so I'm thinking what we can do is just have... we might have one storage for the fuel, just so that we can make it up. Let's do it. Let's have one storage container. Can I do an industrial storage just so I have an output that's on the top, even if it is overkill? And we'll put that right in the middle of this platform. That's gonna go right there. Oh, we got a little bit too far forward. Let's take that back a smidge. That, and then like that to center it up. It is a little wonky because of the height, but it's better than it would have been. Okay, so enough goofing around. Let's get this going next. We're gonna center that. And that'll just move around into the other side. I'm gonna move it up there. So this is gonna be for the biofuel. And then we're gonna have 2 things for making biomass here. One constructor is gonna take leaves, and then the other constructor is going to take the trees. And so leaves, and this one's gonna take wood, and then they're both gonna go into this. and get shoved out. Now, what I haven't thought about here that I should have is this would work great, except I need to bring the leaves and the wood in to this, which we can do by setting up 2 different storage containers. Let's see how this is going to work. We don't have a lot of room over here. We'll just bring the storage containers back a smidge. One there. And one there. And then this one is going to just move over to the edge here. And that's going to come into this one. This one's going to move over to this spot. Alright, so this is going to be leaves, and this is going to be wood. So this is going to be wood, yep. The other one is the leaves. Perfect. So let's go ahead and put a power pole back here in between the 2 of them. That up. And then this is going to be solid biofuel. And it's all starting to come together. This is going to output at 60 a minute. The leaves is actually at 120, so we'll upgrade that belt. The biomass comes out at 300 a minute for the wood. So I'm going to go ahead and get some merger set up in front of this one. And we're going to use Mark IIIs to go over there. I'm going to bring this out in a Mark I. And we should be good to go as soon as we hook this power up. Now, I have not brought any power out here yet. So that'll be our next step. I'm going to bring this normal power line over here. Actually, we have power towers now. So let's see. Ooh, power tower's huge. Let's see about putting a power tower somewhere down here. Maybe I'll put it down over by in front by these bones, because there's nothing else that we can do with it there. And then I can take the power line from the power tower and I think bring it into this. Oh, it connects into the under part. Interesting. Okay, well, let's bring power tower power. Nice. All the way back over to the base in a single run here. I think this is going to work out really well. Looks like it goes pretty far. Oh, it says wire is too long down there. I might have to find a in-between spot. Okay, wire is good here. Wire is too long. Okay, I'm going to bring it in right over here then, I think. Let's just see how that looks from a clipping perspective. It looks atrocious. How about if I bring it in up here? I'll put it right on top of this little hill. I'm trying to get all the feet on the ground. This little hill is a horrible spot for it. I don't want to block the road. We're just going to stick it over here. Not worry about clipping. And I'm going to bring one more of these all the way over into the back side of the base. Oops. So no matter what I do, we're going to need a lot of power in here. And so I think it makes sense to just slap one of these down right in the middle here. Is that centered? Looks centered. Perfect. All right, so now I've got power over here. We'll have to replace the lines, run into the coal power with some of these big ones eventually. Looking good. All right, let's go back and get this fuel set up, and then we can rehook up our storage and start bringing materials over so that as I lay things out, I always find it's better to actually have materials running into the machine so I can see when it's working versus broken. Perfect. It looks like I've got fuel headed down the line already. That's exactly what I wanted. And I'm just going to check. I forgot to grab the stuff out of the truck, so we'll go do that real quick. The nice thing will be eventually to have smart sorters where I can just drop a bunch of this stuff in a single chest or a single storage unit and have it auto sort for me. We're about to have more biofuel than we know what to do with, which is great. All right, so with this little mini fuel setup going, we're not getting fuel into it because we haven't set up any power for the truck stops. Well, let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna bring a power line, I think, right into the middle of this. All right, there we go. We've got power everywhere, and we're now moving fuel into the truck stations, question mark? We are. It's just going into the actual trucks, which is great. That's exactly what we were hoping for. So no problems, nothing to be concerned about. Let's go tear down our hab and all of the side buildings and get them brought out here as well. That way we're one step closer to having everything brought over here. You know what? This tree needs to go. All right, first structure down is the hub. No problemo. And then let me just double check. Do I have anything in here I should be building? I don't think so. A rebar gun, I guess. Might as well get one while we're looking at it. Then we'll build some rebar shots. I don't know how big the stacks are for this, but we'll build a handful. If I remember right, this thing shoots really slow, so I probably don't need more than 50 shots. We'll start with that. Rebar gun into hand slots. Perfect. And let's see here. I'm not ready to pick all that up, but I can pick up the equipment workshop. And then I suppose I could bring the MAM, but we've been cranking through this quick wire. I don't actually remember how much I need. I think I needed 300 for something important. So what we're going to do is take this back with us. We can move this mini Caterium setup back to the base at some point as well. I'm going to grab these. We'll drop that in the iron box when the time comes. I'm remembering I've got the whole back end of this thing that we can use. So we'll take advantage of that. All right, all the miscellaneous side boxes have been picked up. We'll keep running this quick wire while we move back and forth, I suppose. And what is this? This was my old fuel setup. We don't need this now that we're doing everything back up at the base. I'm apparently dropping some stuff on the ground, though. What do we got? Oh, the fuel, of course. All right, we'll come back for that last bit of fuel on the ground. Hopefully we don't lose it all. That'd be a nightmare. And did I create a buffer for the fuel or not in this setup that we've got? I can't remember. I sure hope I did. I wonder if I can control what gets outported, unloaded. Like, doesn't look like I can specify only certain items, but I can. Let's put these in as a buffer. I like it. Our biomass is staying nice and full. Let me figure out, I think the farthest one over here was our iron. Yeah, so here is where we will unload iron ingots that come in. So I'm going to go ahead and just stack those in like so to start with. And we're going to get our hub put back down. Like so. Come on, stupid birds. Come on, get out of the way. Get out of the way. All right. Really? Really, you dumb bird? Come on, go. Go, get out of the way. Boom. Gotta be fast. All right, perfect. I think we've got everything accessible on this side. I like it. We don't need the crafting bench then, and we'll put the MAM right back here. And I will also put the equipment workshop right back over here as well. I'm missing iron rods. How is that even possible? I must have put them in the tractor. We've got so many of them. There's nothing in the tractor. Did I accidentally unload the tractor? That was the wrong tractor. There we go. Dropping down the equipment workshop as well. And then as long as we're here, we might as well drop off the top secret, super cool stuff that we don't need on our day-to-day adventures. Oh, looking good. We're gonna set up over here our basic Caterium thing out of the way, like we had before. Now we've got our Caterium set back up to run. I can drop this in there and it should come out the other side as quick wire. We're gonna move this truck back over to where it's supposed to be, because it's the empty truck that was supposed to be in front of, I believe, this station. And then I'll finish unloading our main truck here real quick. Take all. All right, main truck is unloaded as well. We'll park him back in front of the other truck stop, and then we'll have to get some materials being brought over here at some point. But before we get into all that, I just need to clean out the inventory so we don't keep having all these problems where I can't tear down the structures that we don't need anymore. Oh, I've got enough quick wire to do the next step. Well, maybe we'll do that here real quick. Actually, all this is good stuff. I'm gonna need inventory space though at some point. Caterium, 300 quick wire for Mark II poles. This is gonna be huge for getting our base going here.
Power pole Mark II unlocked. This provides additional power connections compared to the power pole Mark I.
That's nice and simple. All right, there's 100 quick wire. How many did I need for this? I need 200. All right, we'll get that in a jiffy. So we are doing some thinking. I've got our storage containers hooked up to the truck stops now. And what I think I want to do next is set up the blueprint designer out here. And I'm going to use nudge mode to make sure we've got it properly on the platform here. Can't even tell where the other end of the platform is. There we go. And like so. Yep, that looks like the edge. Perfect. It kind of bleeds over on all sides. That's okay. Got the computer over here? Yeah, okay, great. So this is our blueprint designer back. I think this corner of the factory is going to be a great spot for it to get us started at least. And there's the game telling me we've been going for quite some time here. You can see it takes a little while to record an episode if we're already up to 2 hours, and I'm not sure we've accomplished 2 hours worth of stuff. What are we doing with our lives? We're gonna go ahead and pick up some more concrete. What I want to do now is really focus on figuring out how we're gonna lay out the processing of these iron ingots into the subcomponents. So the first thing I'm gonna do is load a blueprint, and I want to get our iron screws ×6 loaded up. There we go. And if I recall, we hadn't set up any of the stuff on the outside, and I'd forgotten to set up half of my belts, which is unfortunate. These can be Mark I belts into each of these. There we go. And then out the other side, each of these is making 50 screws. So I'm going to have 150 screws coming out of this. But the reason, oh, that's why. The reason we didn't hook anything up on the outsides is I don't know what I'm going to be doing with those screws in most cases. Some of the machines only take 100 screws to do the next recipe. So these would actually stack out pretty well perfectly. So we're going to accept this the way it is. Did I hook all the machines up to power lines? I did. All right, I think we're actually good to go here. I have power line Mark IIs I could use though. Maybe we'll do that. Let's get rid of these power lines. And what we can do is put a single power pole in here somewhere. Power pole Mark II. And we'll bury it right in here. And this is going to be able to take in all of these machines and have one thing left over to be able to power it when I hook it up to the grid. I like it. All right, this is going to be saved now as our new iron screws ×6. Save blueprint, overwrite. So with all that said, we're gonna run over here and figure out how to get this up and running. So I've got enough for 120 run of the iron with these two. And then if we do, let me actually just set up an iron plates blueprint as well. I think it's gonna be beneficial to me to have all of this up and running ahead of time here. So clear blueprint designer. And then blueprint name is iron plates. Select icon, parts, plates. Select, all right. And then we'll come back over to this side to get ourselves started. production, constructor. No. Production, logistics, splitter. All right, if we're making iron plates, we're bringing them in 30 at a time. So 60, so 120 would be 4 constructors. So that's a 120 belt already. Do I really want my plates going out on either side, though? Or do I want a whole bunch of plates coming into the middle on one belt? Nah, I think I'd rather have them split out onto separate belts and bring this in. I'm thinking what I can do is, since we're at the tier that we're at, I'll do a full 240 belt in the middle. So if we look at logistics, this is, oh, that's 270. It doesn't double. It has a little bit of extra. I didn't realize that. So if I brought 270 in, I'm going to have 30 left over on a Mark III belt. That's probably better. It's not optimized perfectly, but the way I'm running this, it won't matter too much. So this would be 30, 60, 120, 240. Yeah, we'll do it this way, I think. That's 30, 60. It's 120 belt on either side of iron plates. Now, the problem is I just don't know if I want it to go that way or this way, so I'm not going to pre-run those. We're just going to save this as iron plates times 8. Save blueprint. Alrighty then. We're doing pretty good. So what that means for me is that I think I'm going to leave some space over here for miscellaneous, and the factory proper is going to start right here. And what I'm going to do, just so that I remember that I've decided this, is we're going to set walls up like so. The idea being eventually that I'm going to bring stuff through like windows and stuff. So maybe what I'll do, I'm going to put the walls up there, and then I'm going to get rid of the ground floor walls. Just that's the way, it's a visual reminder, but not a physical barrier to entry. And we're going to grab iron plates times 8. My idea is that it goes right in here, but we're leaving enough room to run our belts and stuff on the inside here. And then we need enough room to handle everything here. Okay, I've hit my max nudge distance, unfortunately. Is that centered? That looks centered. Then I've got a full setup over there and a full setup over there. All right, so that's plates. And then I want to do the same thing over here with screws. And then off the back of this, I need to be able to set up my iron rods as well. These are like the bonus iron rods that you're not sure you need, but you've got them. But before we can do that, I'm going to need more foundations, because despite this thing being ginormous, it's not big enough. All right, with a little bit of expansion to the base here, we should be good to toss down the iron receptacles. I'm going to stand right in here, And we're gonna line this up. Oh, I'm missing cables. Man, we've been running a lot of cables apparently. That's all right. Well, let's see what we've got back here in the chest. I'm sure I've got some. I say with confidence I shouldn't have. We'll have to run back over to the base. I've got some at the base, I know. What's in here? Oh, just iron that I can go ahead and unload. Alright, this guy's parked on top of me. Oh, we're taking him for a ride. Alright, we're back. I can get rid of the Caterium setup here. And then let's go ahead and grab our 50 modular frames that keep coming through. The cable that we're missing. And we might as well load up on these other things real quick. Take all of our concrete. And yeah, we're going to be doing pretty good once we finish tearing all this stuff down. I got to rethink our smelting setup a little bit. I suppose, though, while we're sitting here doing nothing, I could at least load the truck stop up with it. Let's take a belt out and run it down here. We're gonna get it up into the top half. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And we'll run that one into the bottom. Perfect. Look at all the beautiful iron ingots running over here into our truck stop. Oh, we've got a ton of steel pipes in here though right now. Well, we'll bring those back with us and offload all of the steel pipes into the chests that we set up for temporary storage. And that way, when we do come back here, we can start just hauling iron. All right, let's try this one more time with the blueprints and the iron rods. Here we go. Try to make sure I'm doing this right. We're going to use the H mode to help me out a bit. It should be lined up. These are 15, so I'm only going to get up to 40. I think I was using Mark 1 belts here. Yep, that's Mark 1, that's Mark 1, and then in here we got Mark 2s. Okay, everything looks good. All right, there we go. I should have power all hooked up. We've got yellow lights everywhere. All we need to do now is bring the iron in. I need a 120 belt for each of these, so we're gonna bring in our Mark II belts. And what I'm gonna do to do that is I'm gonna bring them right out here. And I need to bring 2 belts in. I think I've got room to bring 3 belts in side by side. So if I put 1 belt here and 1 belt in the middle, that's going to give me the ability to, in the future, bring a 3rd belt down the line here. I'm missing reinforced plates. Huh. Well, unfortunate. At one point I had a ton of these, and now it seems that I've run out. We're trying to get everything set up, and we're just running into all kinds of struggles. We'll bust out a few of these by hand because it's quicker than setting everything up to make it, which is what we're trying to do, just more efficiently. All right, let's try this again. I want to bring this belt all the way down here. I'm gonna bring it back to like 2 before the wall so that when I do eventually build a wall, we're all set. And I'm gonna bring this out. No, wow, we need a lot of these things. All right, one more try here. We'll do right here. And we should see, yeah, there we go. Our iron is gonna run all the way down and into this setup here and start cranking out screws and iron rods. And then this one, which I know I don't have enough for, is gonna come out, man, maybe I'll just put a merger in right here. Or not a merger, a splitter, and have them split out to all 3. That might be the way to go. Let's take that down for a second. Conveyor, nope, I just said not a merger. Splitter. Put it here. And we bring the Mark III belt in. And then we bring a Mark II out like so. And we bring the other Mark II in just like so to the side. Perfect. All right, now I've got all kinds of iron ingots moving through here. Let's see what this is going to do to our power line. Our max consumption is now up to 488. We're going to have to go back and double up on our coal power at some point, but I'm feeling pretty good about where we've gotten. Yeah, I just want to kind of go around and make sure that everything that's running through looks good. Have we seen any iron ingots come through here? We have. Oh, we've already made some iron rods. Perfect. All right, so the way this system works, we'll start seeing these get filled up quickly, and then all that will carry its way down the system. I'm wondering if, even though I know I only need the 120 here, if I could upgrade these to Mark IIIs. Just to speed this process along a little bit. Should make it a little bit upgrade proof too. We can put a whole another layer of these right behind it if we ever need to. Perfect. All right, I like it. All the lights are green everywhere. These are still yellow, but that's because it's just taken a while for stuff to get through the system. Now, the question is, with all of this properly set up now, can I just run this back up to the base and bring a load of iron ingots back and have all that keep going? I should be able to. And at that point, we can set it up to automate. All right, so here we are. Let's check. Oh my goodness, it's nearly full. So if we come in here and push F. Oh, wait. That's not what we want. This is now a loading station. Okay, we should be loaded up. We've still got a fair amount in there. Yep, looks great. I'm gonna go back out the way I came. And with a full load of iron from the base there, we'll just work our way up here. Try not to fly off the side of the factory. And I'm getting my practice in for when I'm going to start recording these courses. And then this is going to start unloading. I can hop out actually. And we've already got huge amounts coming out, and we got enough to unload multiple stacks at a time. I like it. You know, if I was going to run them at 360 like this, or 270, I could have just ran one out of each the top and the bottom. That might have been the smarter move here. I don't know why I didn't think about that initially. Mark 3 to there. Mark 3 to there. A little bit of clipping, no big deal. All right, everything is now running smoothly. We've got our iron production facility completely moved over here. The only thing we're not producing a lot of is the iron rods, which I'm not sure how many of those we're going to need, to be honest with you. What I'd like to do, though, is get a couple of assemblers set up over here with the inputs for the core things that I think we will need. So, for example, rotors is screws and rods. And then obviously these modular frames, which is plates and screws. And then these will need rods as well. So we will need rods for a few things. Okay. How many rods are we cranking out here? 15 per minute on each of these? So what I'd like to do is just to get some rotor assembly up and running. Just to make sure we're being diligent. I'm going to move these back a little bit, though, to give me some room to maneuver. I'm going to start these off right here, I think. And then what I'm going to do is take a quick look here. If I'm making rotors, I'm going to need 50 and 20 per minute. No, I'm going to need 100. Wait. When I was selecting the recipe, I thought this said 5 and 25. That's per. Per minute, I need 100 and I need 20. That's a whole different story. So I'm going to need the input from 2 of these screw productions to equal 1 rotor facility. So let me get rid of this one for now. And what we'll do is we'll just set up a merger. So we'll run that one into there. We're going to run that one into there. And then we're going to come over here. I needed 20 of these. So we're going to just grab as many as we can fit. So this belt's going to come out in a splitter. This one's going to come out into a merger. I'm going to run the 15 into there, and then this is going to be 5, and then that'll be 15 plus 10 is a 25. All right, so that's a merger, that's a splitter. And then this is going to merge all 3 of them, so I'm going to put that something like there. This is going to take that. This is going to take that. And this will come over to that side. Alright. And then these 20 need to come over here. Like so. Now we should be making rotors. Alright, there we are. Now we're cranking on rotors. We've got 100 screws per minute coming in. We have our 20 iron rods coming in. And then I'm going to build a Storage container right out in front. We're going to give ourselves some room because I don't know what I'm going to do. And rotors go. Awesome. One part of the factory down. Now I'm trying to think how high I need things to be, because what I can do is run the materials like on the roof or on the ceiling. I've got all of these plates on this side and screws on this side. What was it that we needed to make with screws and plates? Just toss the assembler down. This is the easiest way to look at recipes. Ah, that's right, the reinforced iron plates. We're going to need 30 plates a minute for every 60 screws a minute. And if I'm putting 50 out per side, that means that I've got 50, 150, one's unused over there for 200 available at the moment. I don't know that I need that many reinforced iron plates, but we certainly could run all of those in there. It's one of those things where it's optimal for that particular recipe, but not so much for the reinforced iron plates. But it's just so much easier, so many less machines to manage, so I'm not too upset about it. I think what we need to do, though, is have a few of these set up because, as we've seen, the other resources that we're going to need down the line here, like motors, well, not motors, oh, these up here. The smart plating requires rotors in those machines. Modular frames require those as well. Okay. So that's the other thing that we'll have to just keep cranking out these reinforced plates for, because that's going to build up into that and so on and so forth. And all right, folks. Well, I think we've made a big dent in our production needs here. The last thing we're going to do is set up this assembler the right way and just get the basic of plates and screws running into it. We're not going to try to optimize it just yet. All I'm trying to do here is make sure that as we're figuring out the rest of the base, we're crafting the materials that we need to continue. Oh, we got a Mercer sphere up there we'll have to go get at some point. I was hearing the noise. Reinforced iron plates. I need 30 and I need 60. So let's take the 60 screws into that side and the 30 plates into that side. That's not quite 60 screws, though. It won't matter for quite some time, though. So here we go. Power to over here. Let's set up a power pole in the corner for me. Then run it over to there. And I think I'm good to go. Did I hook this up to storage? I did. All right, looking good. We're gonna seed that with 500 screws just to get him going. And we are set, folks. Everything looks good. I've got rotors going into chests. I've got reinforced iron plates going into chests. And we've got our infrastructure set up here to bring all the materials in. Even if we don't quite know what to do with them, we're getting closer. We've got plenty of space to expand here as well as build up to other floors. I think we're in a good spot, folks. Appreciate everyone dialing in here. Dialing in, my gosh, that shows my age. I appreciate everybody watching along in the episode so far. And I'm really excited to kind of get this up and going. I know it's been kind of a long episode. I know we were saying we were going to get into building the space components, but redesigning the base is a necessary step in that. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more or continue to see the fine detail as I sort out building the base like this, or if you'd like to go back to more of the milestone approach and have me sum up everything in between the individual steps and make a little bit more progress in a given episode. However, I've appreciated all the people that are watching and commenting, and next time we're going to tear down, maybe off camera, I'm going to tear all this stuff down since we're making all the things here, and set this up as simply the iron ingot production that we're going to move off site. However, that's going to be all for today. If you enjoyed the episode, hit that thumbs up button, helps me out a lot. Kedrick out.